So the products are an answer to a multiplication problem. So here's the answers over here. And the factors are what you multiply by, the numbers that you're multiplying by. So for example, 3 and 5, if you multiply them together, you get 15 for a product. So in this case, we had to say 7 times what is going to equal 14. So the other factor should be 2. Okay? 4 times 10 equals 40. And please fill this in as we go along. Okay, especially those of you that didn't quite get it done. I'm going to be checking. 8 times 8 equals 64. 9 times 5 equals 45. 864 times 1 equals 864. Remember, any number times 1 is that number. Okay, if it's a million, if it's 100,000 times 1 is the same number. A million, okay, times 1 is a million. 864 times 1, 864. 10 times 10 is 100. 0 times 99 equals 0, because any number times 0 is going to equal 0. Okay? Something times 48 equals 48. Well, we know that's 1, because 1 times any number is going to equal that number. 243 times something equals 0. Well, that must be 0. Okay, so this is how that chart should be filled in. And then write what you know about the products when you multiply by 1. So you should have written something like, any number multiplied by 1 will be itself. Okay, so if you multiply a number by 1, it will equal, right? It will equal that number. It will equal the number you multiplied by 1. Alright, any number. Write what you know about the products when you multiply by 0. The product of a number multiplied by 0 is always 0. So it's always 0. Okay, you multiply any number by 0, it's going to equal 0. Write what you know about the facts with square numbers. Okay, the facts with square numbers. So the facts with square numbers, you can find square numbers by multiplying two of the same numbers together to get a square number. Okay, that's how we find square numbers. And as we multiply, so 2 times 2 is going to equal 4. 3 times 3 is going to equal 9. 4 times 4 is going to equal 16. And let me show you an interesting thing here. So 2 times 2 is 4. It gets a little bigger with 3 times 3 is 9. It gets a little bigger still. 4 times 4 is 16. So the answers are going to get bigger and bigger each time. Okay, that was one of the patterns you guys noticed yesterday. So these are some of the facts with square numbers. And the two factors that go into those square numbers are going to be the same number. Okay, now we talked about other factors can also go into some square numbers. But basically with a square number, there's going to be one factor that can be multiplied together to get that number. Alright, let's look at the practice problems at the bottom now. So it says write them on the back of the page. You may or may not have done that, and make a ballpark estimate for each. Solve, show your work. So let's do the ballpark estimate first. I'm going to round 7,201 to 7,200 plus, I'm going to round 6,988. I'm going to round that right up to 7,000. Okay, and my answer for that will be 14,200. And then my answer for this, 1 plus 8 is 9, 0 plus 8 is 8, 2 plus 9 is 11, put down the 1, carry the 1, 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 1 is 14. So you can see 14,200 is quite close to 14,189. Okay, and that's what should happen. They should be quite close. Alright, the next one, this is, keep in mind, you got to look at the sign. So this was addition. Oops, it looks like multiplication. This one was addition. This is subtraction. This problem here is going to be subtraction. So I'll do the estimate first. 3,000, I'm going to round that down to 600. Minus 457, I'm going to round that up to 500. Okay, you could round it up to 460 if you wanted. Just round up to 500, and I'll get 3,100. Now let's see what the real answer is. 3 minus 7 can't do it. I have to borrow 1 from over here. 13 minus 7 is 6. 1 minus 5 can't do it. I have to borrow 1 from over here. And then I get 11 minus 5 is 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. And 3,166. You can see that's quite close to 3,100. Okay, for units, let's make the units cameras today. Okay, so the unit is what I'm adding or subtracting. Okay, so this was HomeLink 7.2, Factors and Products for grade 3 Everyday Math.